Hello. Heavily armed Australian police stormed a cafe in Sydney earlier to bring the 16-hour-long hostage siege to an end. Two of those held captive, a 34-year-old man and a 38-year-old woman, have been killed, as has the gunman, who's been named as Manharon Monis. 6 people were also taken to hospital after the standoff ended when police stormed the building. For World Briefing Arise News' Heather Walker has the latest.
Australians have woken up to the news that a 16-hour siege inside a Sydney cafe ended overnight with 3 people dead, including the attacker. Central Sydney was put on lockdown when an armed man seized 17 hostages inside a cafe on Monday. The siege came to a dramatic end on Tuesday morning as security forces stormed the building. Cafe manager Tori Johnson and customer Katrina Dawson died, along with the gunman. Moments before the police raid on Tuesday morning, several hostages fled the scene. At least 5 more had escaped earlier, but others were still inside. As police moved out, medics began removing the injured. 2 women were taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. A police officer who suffered a wound to his face from gunshot pellets has been released from hospital. The gunman was Iranian refugee Manharon Monis, a self-styled sheikh who received political asylum in Australia in 1996. He was on bail, facing a number of charges, including sexual assault. He was also convicted in 2012 of sending threatening letters to families of Australian soldiers killed in Afghanistan. During the siege, Monis forced hostages to hold up a black Islamic flag, igniting fears that this was a jihadist attack. Australia remains on high alert for homegrown militants returning from fighting in the Middle East. Prime Minister Tony Abbott says this is a disturbing development.
These events do demonstrate that even a country as free, as open, as generous and as safe as ours is vulnerable to acts of politically motivated violence. But they also remind us that Australia and Australians are resilient and we are ready to respond.
The standoff has sent shockwaves around the country, just when Australians were turning their attention to the Christmas holiday. On the streets of Sydney, people try to come to terms with what has happened. Heather Walker, Arise News.